New video today is giving us a look at the evacuation journey by Texas campers. Flash flooding over the weekend killed at least 100 people. Camp Mystic confirmed at least 27 campers and counselors were killed, and more flooding could be on the way. Flood watches in central Texas extend through the night. Oh my goodness, seeing those kids on the bus and hearing them singing.
I know.
Dealing with a natural disaster is really hard, and it's hard to cope with this kind of news. So let's talk to our 9 News mental health expert, Dr. Sheryl Zeigler, about the mental effect and what it might have on children too when they see that, because these are like a dream come true to get to go to a camp like this.
Yes, and for some kids, and this is what I do in the spring and the summer, some kids are really anxious to go to camp. And they want to go, but man, all I could think was there's a good amount of those kids who had to be, like encouraged to go, right? And maybe they looked through the website or brochures and they were assured, you're gonna be safe, it's gonna be okay, you're gonna have so much fun, I'll be here when you're done. And so I'm a part of that for like the last 15 summers, pretty much. There's always a couple of kids who are just like, I wanna go, but I'm really scared. So, obviously there's this devastating tragedy, and then there are kids who are going to camp next week or the week after who this might be on their mind. There isn't anybody who hasn't seen this. I mean, truly, I think any age a kid has at least seen some sort of, they know something's going on. And so I think it is really important for parents to, just like we talk about after other tragedies, how do you show that strength to your child while we are all grieving and just so devastated?
I always love the examples that you give when you're talking to a child. So what are some things that you should say to your child? I know it's going to depend on the age, but how do you even discuss it with them?
Yeah, so the first opener, like all the other ones, are like, hey, what have you heard about these floods? Or what have you heard about Camp Mystic? I think a lot of people associate this with Camp Mystic. And wait to see what your kid says, and then pick it up from there and say, I am, and however you're really feeling, like I've said to my kids, I am devastated beyond belief. I can't look at these images without crying. I've gotten choked up and teared up around them. I just want parents to know it's good for kids to see our humanness. We don't have to be strong about this one. I think it's important for them to see, like, yes, we are grieving as a nation. This is devastating. And then just hold that space. Don't over talk. And then if you're in a situation where maybe a kid's saying, oh my gosh, do you remember that thing that happened last summer at my camp? I told you I was scared. Or I'm going next week. What if something like this happens? And so that's where, then you find your strength as a parent and you say, first, you probably say realistically, well, how do you feel about going? Are you thinking differently about going? So that doesn't mean you're going to or you're not going to cancel. It actually opens the door and it gives them permission to explore their fear, right? It doesn't say like, okay, well, you don't have to go, right? Like some parents might even feel that, like, or I don't even want you to go. I think just saying, how do you feel about going to camp next week knowing this happened? And then leave that space open, let them explore it, and then as a family come together on this. And I think right now it's fair to say as a family, you get to decide what's the level of discomfort you feel like pushing for summer camp. But like most other things, we usually say, we're gonna keep moving on, and camp is a really special part of childhood. This was clearly an extremely special camp. And we can talk about, you do things like safety. So when we get to camp, you could say to a kid who's scared but wants to go to camp next week or whatever, we're gonna go there, we're gonna talk about the safety evacuation routes. We're gonna talk about any natural disasters that could happen. We're gonna talk about, so that way they get that assurance. It's like, we do learn after tragedies. Usually we do learn from those events and we get better. So I think that's an important message.
Yeah, because those things come all the way through, there's that 6th grade outdoor lab. It's part of life.
Right.
And the journey. So good ideas. Just talk about it, be open about it. Thank you, Dr. Sheryl Ziegler.
Thank you.
Thank you.